Hello and welcome to another video in this series. This time we wanted to finish off the interface for Fantasy Grounds. This time we've loaded in an adventure module, the Lost Mine of Phandelver, and we've cut down the buttons on the right hand side here just to the ones that we want to cover. So we don't need the library anymore, and let's open images and maps. We've got this set to the Lost Mine of Phandelver maps because we want to have a look at how a few things that we can do with the maps. So let's open up this map. You'll see that there's a number of pins on this map, and if we click on any of these pins, this will open up the story entry for that particular location on the map. Now, we talked about sharing the map with our images with players before, and before you shared this image with the players, you would want to set the mask. We can do this by unlocking the map here using this little unlock button, and then just clicking on the button up at the top here and entering mask mode. This will mask the map completely. The players will simply see a grey screen when you share it with them. The Dungeon Master sees a slightly more transparent grey, and you can see the detail of the map through it. To reveal an area of the map to the players, you've got two possibilities. The first is simply to hold down the left mouse button, I beg your pardon, and just drag a rectangle, and when you let go the mouse button, that area of the map will now be revealed to the players. The second method is if you want a more irregular area to be revealed, hold down the shift key, and then again with the left mouse button pressed, just draw a shape around whichever area you want to reveal. You can also get rid of the mask altogether by right clicking and selecting the layers menu, and then clicking delete mask and confirming the deletion. You can zoom in and out in the map just by moving the middle mouse button in and out. You can also move the window like you can do with most windows by just grabbing the title bar and moving it around. If you grab the bottom right hand corner here, you can make the map smaller or bigger. You can make it a different size, and you can move it, and then you can zoom in and out whichever way you like. You can also zoom by holding down the CTRL key and mousing over this little icon down in the bottom right, and just hold down the left mouse button and move your mouse in and out. You can get back to the normal size just by simply resizing it from that menu, and I think that pretty much covers most of the navigation aspects of maps. So now let's have a look at the stories. Let's get rid of that, and if we look at the stories here, we can see that we've got a variety of story entries from the Lost Mine. You'll see up at the top here that each story has given a unique number, and we can see there's some navigation buttons down the bottom here. If we click right, we'll get to the next story entry. If we click this one at the bottom, then we'll get to the index, in this case the contents of the thing. These little red icons down the left hand side are links, so we can click on any of those links and it'll open that particular page. If we wanted to create a new story entry, we go to the edit list button and then click add item, and then we can give this a title. Let's spell that correctly. We've got some text here that I'll just copy in so that we can demonstrate a few things. You can add what's called formatted text to the story. The formatted text, part of it is obviously the actual story header itself, but you can also enter a title here. If we just give ourselves some room, and we can enter the title in here. If we then right click over that word, go to the paragraph types, and then we can select the heading, and that will give you your actual heading, which will be a bit more bolded. This text here would just be normal text, but if you select a word or a phrase and right click, you can go to the formatting and make that bold. And similarly, if you select a thing, you can use CTRL, and you can CTRL-B will bold, CTRL-I will give you italic, and CTRL-U will give you underline. All of these are available from the context menu as well. You can see bold, italic, underline. So that's you can make various formatted text entries in that manner. This text here, we might want this to be in what we would call a text box, which we would want to speak to the players, if you like, if this may be somebody speaking or a description that you would want the players to see. So we can right click over the paragraph, again go to paragraph types, and then we can make this a chat frame by clicking on this icon here. This little balloon shows that this is now the text which the players can get. You click on this little balloon, and as you can see, it appears in a box, and it's a description which the players will see. If you wanted to allocate a speaker to this particular text, right click on the paragraph again, go to the paragraph types, and then assign a speaker, and then up at the top here we can just add in a name of whoever it is that's doing the speaking. When we click on that now, it shows that Bob is saying this to the players. You can also have lists. So this here would be a list of items, so let's make that a header. If we then select this item here, go to paragraph types again and select the list, and we do the same for the next two entries. You'll see that it puts it in with a little dot in front of it, so that you've got a nice even list. This one here would be a table, so let's give it a heading. We can select the entire text, go to paragraph types and add in table. Now you see that initially it all just goes on the one line, but if we place our cursor after box A and hold the CTRL and press tab, you'll see that it's created a cell within that. And if we do the same for this one and press tab again, we've now got three different cells for the text. If we press return, we'll get a new row for our table, and we can just press CTRL and tab to add in the cells, and we can then start typing into these particular cells whatever information that we need. Finally, we can add links to a story, and we do that simply by just dragging and dropping. So if we look at our story entries here, we can take this one here, for example, and we can just drag that in there, and that'll create a link in our story entry to another story entry in this case. You can do this with all sorts of things. You can drag in monsters, encounters, parcels, NPCs, quests, anything at all that you can link. You can drag in there and drop it, and it'll be there available to you, so that when you click on it, you can get back to the information that you want. And the last thing we're going to cover in this video are quests. If we click on the quest button, we will see that there are various quests from Lost Mine and Phandelver. Each of them is quite straightforward. They're just basically really a little story entry in their own right. If we unlock this little icon here again, we can see that we can actually go into here, and we can edit the text if we want, or we can add new stuff. We've got the challenge rating up here, which isn't necessary, but you can add a challenge rating to the quest, and you can also add an amount of experience points into the quest, which can then be used to update the party sheet with the amount of experience points when the players complete it. If we wanted to make up a new quest, we would just go to the edit list button as usual, click on the green button, give it a title, and then we would give it some text, which we can copy paste from somewhere else if you want, or you can just type it straight in. We click in here, give it the challenge rating, give it here, and give some XP, and basically that's it. That's our quest done. And if we wanted to now link that to the story entry we made earlier, we find our story, bring it up, and just simply drag in the quest, and there we go, that we can get back to it in our story entry to keep us all right. Okay, I think that's it for the user interface. Thanks for watching this one. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers for now.